Right now, we are joined by XSET, who are coming off with their match against Leviatán. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature if you would like to ask a question. We'll start with FD News first.
Well, hi guys. It's a sad moment that my question is for anyone who wants to answer it. How did you feel after this whole match that was really intense and 3 overtimes? Well, 4 counting during the whole match. It's tough.
I'll take this one. Number one thing about our team is that we're so adaptable, and I said it in my tweet I just put out. We face every challenge head on, and I think that today we showed that by being able to come back from a 9-3 loss. That just goes to show how deep we kind of are as a team, and just how deep we can dig in the sand. Yeah, it's always grueling playing. Obviously that was third map, quad OT, but that's why we're here. We're getting the experience on land, and we're getting that rep out, and can't be happier thinking that we came back and almost won that map and won the series.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Ian from Valoranting.
Hey guys, sorry about the loss. This is for Psycho and Depth if you want to chime in as well. Obviously, really, really tough match. A lot of overtimes, as you said. Grueling was the word you used. I was curious, do you guys practice or try and prep for, in any way, matches that go this long, or how to deal with overtimes from a strategic point of view? And if so, could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So, we put a lot of thought and emphasis on our practice time. Obviously, we've said it a lot before. We feel like we practice more than most NA teams do, and part of that is really extended practice days, right? So we'll, more often than not, bang out 5 scrims in a row. Just getting as many in as we can, and practicing. We utilize that last scrim of the day to practice. Okay, like this is our low energy. Let's try and play to the best of our ability with the circumstances that we're given. And we focus on that every day, every week. And, it's just hard to replicate something like this, right? It's a big event. It's our first time here. But, us as a team, if you look through historically, we only ever get better. So that's what we plan to do. We plan to move forward and use the lessons from this LAN event, hit the grind hard again during our gap before Istanbul, and then come back into champions, and just do a little bit better.
We'll take the next question from Blake from esports.gg.
Hey guys, sorry to hear about the loss. This question's for Dev. So on that, Haven towards the end of the game on round 24, I believe, where Melsler TP'd into Heaven. What were you guys seeing on that play, and what went wrong there?
Yeah, that round's going to haunt us for sure, especially me. What happened was he TP'd Heaven with the bomb. I think Brendan was screaming it that he saw the bomb on radar.
Jordan actually said it in the round pre-round.
He might TP.
He actually said he might just A-rush TP, so we were kind of prepped for that.
And then, we don't play many razors either in NA, especially like the better team. So I think it was a slip from me for sure to not think that they actually could get up there. He could get up there and do it, but he hit an absolutely insane shot. He like double satchelled in 1 time. So it just sucks to lose that way.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Declan from Deserto.
Hi guys, sorry about the loss. This question's for Aaron. There's probably going to be a lot of comparisons between your run here and with the guards run at last Masters. And I was just wondering, do you think those comparisons are going to necessarily be fair, and if there's any distinctions between you guys and the previous #1 seed?
What comparison?
Just in the fact that you guys lost out 0-2 after you receded into playoffs.
We don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump in on this one. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of comparisons drawn, but I think the important distinction is we've been around for a while. We've always proven that we can play at the top level of our region, and we've been brushing up against the top for a long time, and finally broke through. The Guard were a new team. They broke through pretty immediately, but then fell off pretty hard. So I think there's some pretty important distinctions. I do think there's some correlations in terms of, lack of international LAN experience at these big events, and just the mental pressure and stress that it can put on the team and on the players themselves. But I do think that we are a completely different team. At the end of the day, we're qualified as champions. We're going to go there and just prove that we can continue competing at this top level and just get better and better.
I think the big difference is that too, like, we've never had a fall off. And I think something like that can make teams fall off a cliff, but we've just never done it. So
yeah, we refuse to take a loss and let it affect us in a negative way. We only use losses as learning opportunities, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now.
Thank you for that answer. We'll take the next question from Sons of KS.
Hello, sorry for the loss. I'm Sons of KS, and this is my question. For anyone who likes to answer, how was the communication in the last rounds, and what the message do you want to give to all the fans of the team?
I think the communication was phenomenal. We were definitely feeling the strain of a long day, but our minds were focused. We knew what was going on in the rounds, and it really just came down to some really close moments. We've gotten a lot of hate already on the, just our org Twitter account from a lot of the fans of Leviathan and, just like Brendan and individuals, but the players themselves have been absolutely fantastic. We've really enjoyed being around them. We've shared media day with them. They're really nice people. The Leviathan CEO came up and fist bumped us after the match. So I'm really happy for them for qualifying to champions, and just really proud of another, team from our hemisphere doing well and popping off. So we're excited to get a rematch against them in Istanbul.
Thank you very much for the answer. And yes, we are all American.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Blake at esports.gg.
All right. This question is for Cryo or anyone who wants to answer. You guys obviously have a champion's berth already. Did that take away, or did that necessarily take away from the game itself, giving you guys more of leeway? And how important is it to get a game where you go to this many overtimes on stage moving forward?
No, obviously, even though we already qualified for champs, as a team, this is our first international LAN, and we just want to play the best game that we can play possible. I don't think it affected us at all. We like always try our best to win. So
thank you. We'll take the next question from Ian from Valoranting.
For Cryo, obviously there's a bunch of really talented players at Copenhagen, a bunch of talented duelists. I was wondering, is there a conversation you've had or someone you've played against or scrimmed against where you're like, oh, I'm taking that attitude or skill or setup or lineup or anything and bringing it back with me? Has there been like a unique thing that you've been able to gather from this experience?
I wouldn't say from a particular duelist, but just the experience overall of playing on stage and playing against, like, facing the other team. I think that's a really big takeaway, especially for champions. But no, I wouldn't say from a specific player or anyone in a certain role.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for XSET? We'll take one from George Geddes.
Hey everyone, I don't actually have a question, but I did just want to say that we all love you. You guys you did really well. We were all very impressed. So good luck at champions. All right, boys.
Thank you, George. We'll make you proud.
See ya.
And we'll take the last question from Ian from Valoranting one more time.
Hi again. We had the press conference with Guild, and one of the things that they said was, after their experience at this LAN and playing internationally, they were like, oh, these people, they're not as scary as we thought they were. They're not as good as we thought they were. And we're going to bring back that confidence home. I was curious if any of you agree with that, disagree. This is open to anyone.
I think it's truly what matters, really, isn't it? If we can take this, is going to suck. Like, it's going to suck for probably 2 weeks. Like, no one's going to get over this for a while. But as soon as we get in the server again and we're talking about champions, the better. I think that's one of the only silver linings we can take from this, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, every team here is scary, but that's what makes no team scary. Everybody here at the top is really close to each other, and it all just comes down to mistakes made during the round and how you execute your game plan. And unfortunately, we made a couple too many mistakes today, and that's something that, like Roy said, we're going to take home to the practice room and figure out how to iron those out, change our protocols and procedures, and make sure that we're ready to make less mistakes going into the next event.
XSET, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. This will conclude the first press conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming off of their victory against XSET, who would like to ask the first question? We'll go with let's go with Sons of KS first.
Okay, give me a second, please. There is. Hola, muy buenas tardes, chicos. Soy Ucania de Son of KS. Felicidades por su victoria del día de hoy. Eh, Más que una pregunta o algo, me gustaría que le mandaran un mensaje a todos los fans que estuvieron gritando y estresados durante todo este ciclo de tres matches.
No, digo, la verdad, gracias a todos por el apoyo. Siempre se siente mucho la fanaticada. Lo dije en Argentina, había mucha gente apoyando. Ahora abrimos las redes sociales, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, todas las redes sociales explotando con mensajes, con apoyo, con felicidades. Y nada, de verdad, muchas gracias a toda la gente que nos banca y disculpen por casi darle un infarto a toda la fanaticada, pero si no se sufre, no. ¿Cómo es?
No es Leviatán.
No es Leviatán. Así
Mira.
que.
¿Cómo es?
Hay que asegurarse. Así
No,
que
sí.
gracias a toda la gente.
Gracias a toda la gente, en verdad siempre ha sido nuestro sueño poder representar a la región y ahora en un torneo internacional. Yo creo que esta fue la victoria más importante de nuestras carreras.
Muchas gracias por su respuesta. Y sí, en Press Room estábamos gritando.
The question was more like if they could say a message for the fans, and what King says was, "Thank you for all the support. You're always getting our backs." And as I said in Argentina, we have a lot of people supporting us. We just opened up social media, and it was blowing up with messages, a lot of support, a lot of happiness from all of you guys. So thanks for reaching out to us. Thanks for the support, and sorry for the almost heart attack that we gave you. But if you don't suffer, it's not Leviathan. And then Adverso added with thank you. This is a dream come true for us to represent our region, and this is our first international victory, and it's the most important victory that we have for our career up till now.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Alejandro Sandoval.
Hola chicos, aquí Alejandro Sandoval de Level Up. Felicitaciones, una victoria más que dramática, pero más que esperada para toda la región. Consiguen avanzar a la siguiente ronda, consiguen ese pase a Champions, desbancan a Crew hacia el LCQ. ¿Qué fue como lo más importante, bueno, para cualquiera de ustedes, qué fue como lo más importante de cara a este encuentro? O sea, mentalmente o dentro del juego, ¿qué fue lo más crucial para que se diera este resultado?
Yo creo que lo más crucial fue el mental, porque en el Heaven estábamos muy hypeados, estábamos haciendo un muy buen partido del lado defensor, y después de atacante nos empezó a costar y empezaron a entrar las rondas de ellos, y fue cuando a cualquier otro equipo se le hubiera comido la ansiedad. Y estoy súper orgulloso del equipo, en verdad, por habernos mantenido fuertes hasta el final y seguir trabajando el mental, que en esta serie es lo que más importa.
Bueno, pues esperemos que sea así, y ahora que les toca este enfrentamiento contra el campeón de Asia o contra el Europa, que se vuelva a dar este resultado. Felicidades y éxito.
Muchas gracias.
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 The question was, what was the most important part facing this tournament, facing this match, sorry. And that versus answer was, I believe that the most important part was the mental. When we were in Haven, we had a really good first side on defense, and we were really hype about it. But then when we got to the attacking side, it really started to cost a little bit more to win those rounds. And to any other team, it would have really eating them up by the anxiety. And I'm really, really proud of the guys for keeping their cool together and keeping themselves strong till the end. We still have to work on our mental state, but because here, that matters a lot.
We'll take the next question from Ian from Valoranting.
Hello and congratulations. This is for Adverso. I was curious, do you guys do any specialized training or scrim practice to do so well in these long matches and to have so many clutches and the ability to close out these maps?
Bueno, esta habilidad de luchar va 100% relacionado a que nosotros trabajamos mucho en nuestros niveles individuales, y eso se vio plasmado en este torneo, en esta serie, en verdad, por Mercer, por mí, por todos los chicos. Y bueno, respecto a los scrim, hemos tenido nuestra primera experiencia con equipos Tier 1 de Europa y tuvimos muy buenos resultados. Incluso nosotros como equipo igual quedamos un poco impresionados de que no estábamos tan lejos del nivel que creíamos. Y todo ese nivel individual que hemos trabajado dio sus frutos y eso logró que todos los clutch que hicimos en esta serie se diera por eso.
His answer was the ability to clutch up was 100% given to the fact that we train a lot in our individual level. And that's something that really showed up during this tournament and in this series in specific, both by Meltzer, by myself, and by everyone in the team. And regarding the scream part, it's something that this is the first time we have experience facing against the tier 1 teams in EU. And we were actually really surprised by the good results we had on streams. It was something that we've been working a lot upon ourselves, and at the end of the day, it took its toll on us, and it gave us the rewards. And yeah, it just showed that everything was worth it.
We'll take the next question from Roldy from Agentes en Línea.
¿Qué tal, chicos? ¿Me escuchan bien?
Sí,
Buenas. Felicidades a todos. Felicidades por pasar de ronda, por ganar el partido, por clasificar a Champions. Mi pregunta es para Melzer. Melzer, hoy captaste la mirada de todo el mundo. Lo que hiciste dentro del servidor no tuvo ningún tipo de sentido. Sin irnos allá, no sé si has revisado más o menos las estadísticas, pero del ASEN, ¿no?, que ganaron en Overtime, tuviste un 57% de clutch rate, algo que ya al menos no había visto antes en un partido de este nivel, a nivel internacional. Así que quiero saber qué pasa por tu cabeza en esas rondas, en esas 4 rondas que ganaste.
Nada en especial, solo trato de replicar lo que practico en la scrim, en entrenamiento, y creo que todas las personas en este equipo tienen la capacidad para luchar de la misma manera que a mí me salió hoy día, porque también he tenido días malos, y eso es tanto practicar como equipo y practicar el nivel personal, como lo hacemos todos acá, así que todos podemos llegar a tener ese porcentaje de clutch.
Humilde. Mano, amiga, te amo. Te amo. Ya.
Te adoro, Melzer. Voy a volver a jugar hasta por ti.
A la vida.
The question was regarding Melzer's clutch nowadays, today, and that he had a 57% clutch rate on the ASEN. And it's something that the journalist hasn't seen before in an international event. So the question was, what happens, what's going on in his mind during those clutch rounds? And Melzer's response was that nothing specifically. He just tries to replicate what he has been doing on practice and scrims. And he just goes in and he believes that everyone in this team has the capacity to clutch themselves, just as he did himself today, because they all practice both as a team, as an individuals, and they are all capable of doing this sort of clutch rate.
We'll take the next one from Mike from Upcomer.
Hi. Obviously, this is specifically for Meltzer. That performance on Ascent definitely was one for the ages, with the 4 out of 7 clutches you won to help secure the comeback and then win it in OT. How did you feel having the hot hand on that map, helping win it, leading into map 3?
¿Entendiste?
¿Cómo te sientes?
Te preguntaron lo mismo.
Sí, le preguntaron lo mismo. Con las clutches,
¿cómo
te sientes?
Básicamente fue, ¿cómo te sentí ahora después de haber amasado como 4 clutches?
Según yo fue el clutch del 11-11.
No. Ya, rápido. Te preguntó qué se siente haber ganado 4 de 7 clutch que ayudaron a básicamente que lográramos hacer el comeback y que gracias a eso después pudiéramos ganar en el OT, básicamente.
Fue por el puño.
Me siento feliz, obviamente, de que me salieran todos los clutch. Trato de jugarlos siempre de la mejor manera, igual que lo hago en entrenamiento. Pero creo que no solamente fue mi factor del ASEN, siento que todos cumplimos nuestro rol, porque en Haven todos tuvieron sus propios clutch, así que fue un buen trabajo en equipo y tuve un buen día.
Qué humilde este weón.
I believe that I'm really happy today because those clutches ended up happening, and it was just basically play them the best possible way that I could. But I do believe that it wasn't only me that made that comeback possible. Everybody in the team was fulfilling a role, both in Ascent and in Haven. So we all got part in this comeback.
We'll take the next question from Miguel Mendez from Codigo.
Saludos chicos, primeramente felicitaros por la victoria, gracias por dejar a la región en alto. Mi pregunta va para Betoni. Regresas a un evento, a unos cuartos de final de Master, clasificas al Champion. ¿Cómo son las sensaciones? No sé si habrás hablado con Onur, pero ¿cómo son tus sensaciones con este momento y con este triunfo y qué representa para tu carrera estos logros?
Sí, pude hablar con el pelado cuando terminó el partido, obviamente estaba como yo, muerto. Nada, pero súper feliz, súper contento. La verdad que estoy súper orgulloso de los pibes, de lo que jugaron. Y creo que además de todo, a pesar de la victoria que fue complicada, creo que podemos dar mucho más de lo que dimos hoy, y eso me deja muy, muy tranquilo y muy contento para adelante, porque realmente creo que esto es un aprendizaje para todos ellos, y nuestro objetivo era llegar a tope al 100% al Mundial, y creo que esto fue un paso importante en cada uno de ellos. Creo que hoy superar un obstáculo muy, muy, muy importante. En cuanto a mi carrera, sí, importante, la verdad que no puedo ni responder eso, porque lo único que estoy pensando en este momento son estos 5 monstruos que tengo acá y las pelotas que pusieron, y es lo único que tengo en la cabeza en este momento.
Gracias, bueno, suerte entonces.
Gracias.
The question was regarding Betoni's feelings about getting into the quarterfinals and also qualifying to champions. What does this mean for him and for his career? And Betoni's answer was that he was able to speak with owner right after the match, and he was, as himself, dead, but he's really happy and smiling about the fact that they really made it. He's really proud of the guys or of how they played today. He also believes that regardless of this complicated victory, they can give so much more for themselves, and that gives him tranquility for the future. This is just learning, and it was just an objective for them to reach the champions. And it's a great step for all of them because they overcame a huge obstacle in their way. And regarding his own career, it's obviously a huge step for himself, but he really can't respond to this question because the only thing that he can think about is these 5 monsters that really took it out all of their energies today, and they put the team really, really high.
We'll take the next question from Ian from Valoranting.
This is for Melsor. Who, ideally, of the teams left, do you want to meet in the grand finals and beat?
Hola, amigo. ¿A qué equipo de los que quedan te gustaría ver en la gran final y ganarles?
Yo creo que obviamente de Reiki, porque me quedé con las ganas de haber jugado un buen partido y haber demostrado nuestro nivel, a ver cómo hubiera sido. Siento que no tuve un día bueno en ese momento y no pude ayudar a mi equipo, así que me encantaría enfrentarlos de nuevo en la final.
Gracias.
Me encanta la respuesta corta.
Obviously, I would like to meet DRX in the finals because I really missed the opportunity to play against them like in our best match and in our best way, and to demonstrate our true potential. I believe that I didn't really have a good day that day, that I wasn't able to help my team out as much as possible. So I would like to meet them again and beat them this time.
We'll take the next question from FD, Facundo Dominguez.
Muy buenas chicos, primero de todo, felicidades por el triunfo. Y como ya se ha dicho, si no se sufre, no es Leviatán. Bueno, mi pregunta es bastante simple. ¿Cómo influye dentro de la rutina y la preparación diaria el Nacho, el psicólogo del equipo?
Bueno, Nacho es una parte crucial para el equipo. Eh, Muchas veces es difícil mantener la compostura en series largas, especialmente contra los mejores equipos del mundo. Y Nacho tiene la capacidad de darnos las herramientas para que nosotros podamos volver y poder hacer nuestro trabajo como se debe. Independientemente de lo que pase, Nacho siempre puede arreglar los problemas internos, o si alguien se cae mentalmente, él siempre tiene las mejores palabras, los mejores consejos, obviamente porque es psicólogo, pero lo hace de muy buena manera, es muy buena persona y nada, es parte crucial del equipo y sin él sería imposible estar donde estamos.
Question was how or yeah, what influence did the psychologist Nacho have in their daily routine? And versus King's answer was that Nacho has a really important part in the team. He many times has in long series it's difficult to maintain one's composure from themselves and the mental state. So especially when you're facing against the best teams in the world, so Nacho has the best capacity to give them the abilities and the tools for them to do their job in the best way possible. And regardless of anything that happens, Nacho is always there to fix any kind of internal issues. And he's always there to give out the best words and advice when someone is down. And he's a really good person and also a crucial part for the team. Without him, it would be impossible to be here.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Mike from Upcomer.
Hello again. This one will be actually for B Tony. One of your key strategies on Haven attack that helped you guys win the game was, the plant on C, smoking in the hall, and sitting back to spam the defuse. How practiced was this strat, and did you have any nerves around it towards the end?
Que obviamente tenían la estrategia una de las estrategias en Haven fue la de plantar para larga y jugar spameando los smokes hacia el spike, y que si al final pensaste que si esta es una estrategia que tienen muy planeada y muy preparada y entrenada, y si al final pensaste que pudieron haber hecho algún par de cambios.
No, creo que bueno, es una estrategia bastante común en todos los equipos, pero la verdad que lo que puedo destacar de ese momento puntual fue la frialdad de los chicos para ejecutarla tan bien y tan coordinada en un momento tan caliente del partido. La verdad que ellos ahí como que bajaron a la tierra y empezaron a comunicarse exactamente quién tiraba cada utilidad, usando cada segundo de cada utilidad. Y la verdad que lo que más quiero destacar es eso. La frialdad, el profesionalismo que tuvieron los chicos en un momento tan difícil para sacarlo adelante con tanta entereza y poder ejecutarla de esa manera. Como te digo, no es fácil en ese momento tan difícil del partido, y los chicos ahí como que se iluminaron y dijeron exactamente quién tira primero cada cosa, quién sigue la jugada con cada cosa, y la llevaron la ronda de una manera que en cuanto empezaron a comunicar así, que ellos iban a hacer la jugada de esa manera, me di cuenta que la ronda le íbamos a ganar. Y eso es mérito de ellos y mucho mérito del trabajo del equipo, que, bueno, tanto del pelado que acá no está, pero de todo el trabajo que le metemos, que realmente son muchas horas diarias que le metemos.
I believe that it's really common strategy for all teams, but what I want to point out the most is the calmness from the guys, that they were able to execute this perfectly in a moment of such heat inside the match.
They communicated perfectly who was going to use what ability and to time it out in the best way possible to just run the clock out. I want to highlight that calmness and that professionality from the team that really took out the round for them. And to execute it at that level against those guys is really difficult, but they somehow got like eliminated, and they were able to give all the perfect calls and just take the round for themselves. When I started hearing them communicate that well, I just knew that we were going to win that round, and that's perfectly all merit for themselves and also for the teamwork that we've been doing from owner and myself, that it has just been too many long days from work.
And we'll take the final question from Blake from esports.gg.
Hey guys, congrats on the big win. This question is for Shai or anyone willing to answer. So the energy on stage seemed to be extremely high. You could even hear you guys yelling from the analyst desk during the breaks. How did it feel to play in that environment, being surrounded by your teammates and to eventually come out on top?
Obviamente, pues se sintió la energía en el escenario, viéndolos ustedes gritar y pues gritándole también con tus compañeros. ¿Cómo se sintió estar en ese escenario, tener a tus compañeros gritando a tu lado y pues tener a los adversarios enfrente?
Para mí, eso es lo que tiene la competencia. La competencia tiene algo único que no se puede comprar ni obtener con nada, ni con el dinero, ni mucho menos. La competencia te da una sensación, te da una adrenalina, y eso no se puede comparar con nada. Es lo mejor del mundo. La gente que quiere competir, la gente que le fascina la competencia, es una satisfacción. El solo hecho de sentir toda esa adrenalina dentro tuyo y después botarla por haber ganado es algo único. Tener a mis compañeros al lado gritando, celebrando, tirando para arriba entre ellos, y tener al rival de frente igual es un peso, pero siento que eso es lo que tiene la competencia. La gente que ama competir es por eso que lo hace. Es algo único que no se puede comparar con nada.
For me, that's something that this kind of competition has. That is something unique that you can buy nor gain in any other way, something that money can't get you. And this tournament really fills you up with adrenaline that doesn't really compare itself to anything else. It's just a satisfaction in itself to be able to feel this adrenaline flowing through your body and just you can say like burst it all out when you win, to have all of your teammates shouting, cheering on themselves, and it's just really exciting. And also obviously having the adversaries against you, facing you, is something that's quite complicated, but it's just part of this competence and just part of this tournament, and it really fills up whoever is as competitive as me.
Thank you, Leviatán. Congratulations on your victory. This will conclude the press conference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.